Recently, I signed a brand new client and it wasn't for my typical package. It was for 15 minutes every week. Not a 3-month package, not a 6-month package, and certainly not my 12-month go all in package. Just 15 minutes every week. At my same rate, doing the exact same work, just boxed in a very different container. And I built this specifically for her at the very end of our second call together and a very powerful breakthrough session. And it took about 3 or 4 minutes. So that's what this video is about. It's about how you can do the exact same thing, creating an opportunity for your client to work with you that doesn't fit what you already sell. Now, I'm going to guess that you probably already know this type of moment when it comes, where you're on a call and the fit is there. Like, you can feel it. This is your person. This is a client that you genuinely want to work with. And they also want to work with you. And then you get to the offer. The time comes where you have to put an offer on the table. But then something changes. Maybe it's something in their face that changes. And it's not so much no. It's more like not that. And it's in that moment where you'll typically reach for one of two things. And the first is what most coaches will typically do, and that's a price drop, where it's dressed up in some type of nice packaging like a founder's rate or something like that, or some type of payment plan that you usually wouldn't agree to and you actually don't want to do. Or you hold the line and you tell yourself that you're protecting your standards, protecting your boundaries. And of course, you never hear from them again. Now, both of those are the same move. And both assume that the package that you've created is a fixed package. And this is what I wanted to talk about, because most experienced coaches will usually have one way in for their clients. Maybe two, if you count the discovery call. And it was built years ago, usually. And probably when you were still figuring out what it was that you were even selling. These would be your 3-month packages, your 6-month package, your 12-month package, the weekly calls, the support in between, the lot, everything else that you're doing. And they've probably barely been touched ever since you set them, because you say to yourself, like, this is how I want to work, this is what I want to do, which is perfectly fine. But something I see happen quite a lot with coaches, no matter what experience or how many years they've been doing their business, is that they can close themselves off to potential business in one way or another, because they get so fixated and so stuck on their coaching packages and how they always want to be working and get really rigid with those specific packages that they close themselves off to other options, to working with more clients, to building more testimonials and having more results come from the work that they're doing with their clients. This happens because a lot of coaches will have one specific way in for clients to work with you. They may have little pieces of that as they progress through a funnel, but essentially it's one specific way in and then the different packages which represent that way in. And they're always waiting for that person, that client, to come in already shaped for what they've built. These are the clients that come in with the right time, the right budget, the right level of readiness, the right appetite for the commitment that they're going to undertake. Now, don't get me wrong, those clients exist. I mean, they're out there, but they tend to be rare. And you end up spending more time waiting for that client, that ideal client, that you miss the other ones that you can work with along the way. It's like everyone bounces off the shape of the container that you've built for your packages and your business. And as they're bouncing off that container, you never actually find out what a potential client would have said yes to without compromising your own time, your own energy, and how much you charge. You don't get that very relevant information. You just get the no. The other side of it is, if you only ever have one container for clients to be able to work with you and you're not creating new ones to explore, you only ever get one kind of rep in. It's the same length, it's the same rhythm, it's the same arc over and over and over again. You get really good at one shape of work, but then you stay untested in every other one that's potentially out there. Then meanwhile, that person that needed just 15 minutes of focused time every week has walked off. They've gone somewhere else, they find a different coach. And it wasn't because they couldn't afford you, it was because you didn't have a door that they could fit through. So here's the shift. Your rate and your packages are two different things, but most coaches treat them as one, as a single unit. Now, your rate is what your time is worth. Now, that doesn't move. The package is the container. It's the shape that you poured your work into, so it's easier to sell. But the container can be almost anything. It's the same money per hour of my time. It's the same work. It's just a different container. That right there is the point. So let me show you how you can actually move from this. Because when I say build something from custom, create something specific for an individual client. I'm not saying start a brand new business. I just mean turn a few dials of what you're already doing. So imagine you've got your business there, you've got your packages and how you want to work with someone. Grab the dials and start moving them a little bit. Think about the length of your sessions. I mean, 60 minutes is a habit. It's not a hard rule. And 15 minutes can also be a real session if 15 minutes of focused work is all that's needed. Think about the frequency of the sessions. We could do standard weekly, monthly, fortnightly, maybe twice a week for a month and then move to monthly afterwards. We get so fixated on one particular way. Like I like to do weekly sessions and I like to do weekly sessions for a long time. But we can get so fixated on that we forget about there's other options in between. Think about the term. Like how long are you actually doing it for? I like 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months. They're my 3 main packages. 12 month is my beautiful all-in package. That's what I want all my clients to go through, but not everyone's ready for that. 3 months or 6 months, it's a nice round number, but it doesn't mean anything. 6 weeks is also a term. You could do a 2 to 3 week intensive rapid sessions. So is a full intensive day. The term doesn't have to be stuck as well. There's one part that a lot of coaches don't think about, and that's the delivery of the sessions. I like doing video calls because most of my clients are international, so I need to be flexible and I can work from home. But instead of doing live calls, you can do voice notes. You can do a phone call while you're driving. You can do a half a day in person if you've got clients in your area, in your city. So there's a lot of flexibility that can be had around how we actually deliver the coaching. A big one that a lot of coaches don't think about is the level of access that you provide to your clients. Some clients might need you in the room, while others just need to know that if they've got a challenge or they need help, they can reach out to you anytime. So you think about moving the dial when it comes to how much a client can access you. I mean, if you do a 3-month all-in unlimited access type of plan, but that's not right for someone right now, maybe reduce the access a little bit. Reduce the frequency of the sessions. Reduce the time that you spent working with someone. So everyone that I've just gone through there has some type of dial that you can move and adjust the way that you want to, that also works for you and your client. When you start turning just one, you've got a completely different offer for a client that's been tailor-made and custom for that specific person and their specific needs. But it's got to be around never compromising on your own value, on your price and on your time. Because you're not building this out of what your client can afford, because it's not just about what your client can afford. You build it around what they actually need right now. If it's about money and they can't afford your full rate, okay, cool, stretch it out. The number of times that I've created something specific where I had one client, I spoke with him for half an hour every 2 weeks because that fitted his budget, but that also fit his time. My current client, 15 minutes once a week, because she just needs a rapid, focused 15 minutes every single week to help her stay on track, to implement a couple of things in her business. And as she said, I just know that sometimes my thinking might try and kick my ass again. So this is designed to help her with that. When you're at that stage in a discovery call and it's time to put the offer on the table, or maybe you've already put the offer on the table, you've put out your packages there and the pricing, and they've got some type of like, I don't know if I can afford it, or it's about the time investment or whatever it may be. Instead of conceding then and there, ask a question or say something like this. I've worked with clients before who, for whatever reason, they're unable to do a full all-in package like I'm offering today. Whether it be financially, their time investment, whatever it may be. So what I like to do is work with my clients and create something specific that's going to work for you, where we can either reduce the sessions from 60 minutes to 15 minutes or half an hour, reduce the frequency of the session, so maybe we can have 1 hour session every month or 15 minutes every week. But what I really like to do is just make sure that instead of calling it a no right now, that we find something that works so we can continue the momentum that we've created today. Is that something that you'd like to talk about? So saying something like that, and you'd put your own spin on it, of course, you don't have to sound like me, but saying something like that and asking that question, it does 2 things. First of all, it tells them that your rate, it's not moving. It's said quietly, but you never have to defend it. All you're doing is talking about changing a few of the dials along the way. The second thing is that it puts both of you on the same side of the problem. And you're working through it together, you're designing something together that's going to work for both of you. Rather than you be the seller and that be the buyer. Now it's like, great, how can we work together to get you moving? 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you exactly what they need and exactly what'll work. And more often than not, it's less than what you're about to sell them. And there is something else to think about as well. And this is where you might have to be quick on your feet to come up with something. but you need to name it for them. You need to give it a specific name for them. With my new client, I called hers the rapid fire sessions. Now that's not marketing. Okay, it's not marketing speak because you're not putting this out there anywhere. That's me telling my client that it's built for her based on what she said and what she wanted. She wanted rapid fire. She wanted something quick. So I called it the rapid fire sessions. She knows that this is created specifically for her. However, there are two boundaries that we need to talk about because I don't want you going off after this video and turning yourself into a vending machine and just spitting anything out. The first boundary is flexibility on the format, not the value itself. If the shape of the container that you're building for a client is not one where you do the work that you're proud of, that's not a smaller container. That is a worse container. That's not a container that you build, so don't build it. And you just say so. And also say why. And the second boundary is that you don't do this for everyone all the time. Me personally, I don't make an offer with everyone that I speak to. Some people have a call and that's it, the work is done. Some people aren't interested for now and they're on the follow-up list. But just because I'm having a call with someone doesn't mean I'm going to be putting an offer there. I need to figure out if I want to work with this person, if putting an offer on the table makes sense. So when you're creating a new container for someone, this is when you're sitting there with them and you're thinking that, yes, this is someone I want to work with. This will be a good client. I want to work out a way where we can work together and continue what we've started now because this is going to be an exciting journey. When you're in that moment, that's when you start getting creative. That's when you're like, right, how can I create something for us to work together without compromising myself? The cool thing about everything I've been speaking about is you can do it straight away. I mean, on the next call that you're having, and I hope you've got one planned for this week, there'll be that moment. It'll be a pause where you've put the offer on the table or you're about to, and that's where you would normally reach for a discount. And in that moment, instead of dropping your price straight away, you'll ask about the shape. At first, you're going to feel a relief because you've stopped negotiating against yourself. And that right there, and we may not be consciously aware of it at the time, but that is the shift right there. It's not a sales technique. It's just you not folding, not bending your price, not discounting, not devaluing yourself. Creating a new shape of what you're already offering without undercharging to create new opportunities for more clients to work with you. Give it a couple of months of trying that first and just see what happens. You'll probably end up with 3 or 4, maybe even more new formats that you hadn't really thought about before, and now you do, and you've got people which are going through those formats, new containers, new clients, opportunities for testimonials. And the really cool thing about this is not you sitting at 11 o'clock at night in front of a Google Doc and just thinking, what type of thing can I put together for someone that may or may not buy it? You're creating these from real conversations with real clients about what they actually need, not what you guessed they might need. This is how your offer suite expands and gets built over time, one client at a time out of the real demand, and creating new ways for people to work with you. So here's what I want you to do. Go back and look at the last 3 people that said no to your offer that you put out there. And not the ones which they're not a right fit for you. The ones that you actually wanted to work with, where you're like, I really wish I got them because they would have been a great client. For each of those 3, have a look at your session notes or from what you remember from the call and start designing new containers for each of them that you would have offered if you'd thought about it at the time. Did they say anything about the cost, the length, the time, their energy commitment, or anything like that? Have a think about it and then create 3 different ones, or it might even be the same one for all of them, but give it a name. Give it a specific name to that person and their circumstance and what they've already spoken about. And the next step to that is phone them up, send them an email, send a message and say, I've been thinking about our last conversation and I've got an idea which I think would really help you right now, which would fit into what you spoke about. Can we have a call? They're either going to say yes or no, but if they say yes and arrange a call, then you can go through the process. Then you can understand again where they're at, what their challenges are, and let them know that you've created something specific for them that's going to help them with their goals and their dreams and overcome the challenges. That's also going to fit into how you can work with them. And you never know, they might just sign up then and there. If they do, you have to let me know in the comments below because I would love to hear that. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really do appreciate it. As always, if you can like the video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications, and also share the video with other coaches if you believe this could help them in some way, that would really help me out, and it'll just show the algorithm that people actually like my stuff and ideally get distributed to more people. Now, if you are a coach right now, which I assume you are, and you need some help with anything that I've just spoken about in this video, or maybe there's a challenge where you're actually not doing the things in your business that you know you should be doing, that actually grow your business forward, there's a link in the description below. Send me a message and let's have a conversation. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.